Taiwan's opposition has won the country's presidential election. With more than three-quarters of the vote now counted, the opposition National Party's candidate has surged ahead. Taiwan's troubled relations with China have been the main issue of the election. This is Sky News. Coming up later in the hour, the art project hitting the right note in Birmingham. The fortnightly rubbish collection is becoming a reality for more and more householders. Now, some frustrated families are paying private firms to get rid of their rubbish. Sky's Angela Corp explains.
Littering the streets and polluting the air with the foul smell of rotting food. Bag after bag dumped on roads and in alleyways because the council in Oxford won't collect them once a week. For Dr. Annie Skinner, it's led to an almost weekly ritual of photographing the rubbish, sending the photographs to the council and hoping they'll do something about it.
I think that the rubbish being left on the streets for 2 weeks is a health risk. It's a hygiene hazard. And the problem for a lot of people in the city is that they haven't got the space to store their rubbish, so there has been fly tipping.
Many residents are now so unhappy with fortnightly collections that they're paying more than £8 a bin for private companies to do the job. Private waste disposal companies like this one charge their customers up to £200 a year to empty their bins on the weeks when the councils won't. They already do thousands of collections each month in this one area alone and say their business is growing.
It's not something that I was particularly pleased about, and it's like most of our customers, it's not something that we particularly wanted to pay for. But the need arises that someone isn't doing it, so someone needs to be doing it, and fortunately we feel we're going to fill that gap.
WasteConcern say they recycle as much or even more of the waste they collect than the local councils, and their database of customers is increasing daily as they roll out across England and Wales. More and more people may be prepared to fork out for a private bin collection service, but many feel their councils left them with little choice.
We've had horrible insects in the bins, and I just have to because I couldn't cope with it.
It's definitely worth it because it's better than the rubbish build-up. And if I had to, I'd spend more.
We found we had so much rubbish that we'd fill the bin. We wouldn't fill the bin as much, but it would just smell horrible hanging around. As you cook fish, you've got babies' nappies, you've got other things, food going off. And after a week, it smells really horrible. So after 2 weeks, it's even worse.
Local councils say the problem isn't the bin collections, but that residents don't secure their waste properly. And they say most residents who have fortnightly collections now don't want their bins taken away every week.
When it's been implemented properly and people understand what they have to do, the response is overwhelmingly positive. There's always going to be a few people who aren't happy. If there are specific problems in areas, the LGA would say contact your council, speak to them and see how you can work through it. But in general terms, it's working very well.
Last year, households in the UK sent 17 million tonnes of rubbish to landfill sites. And in less than 9 years' time, if we don't recycle more, they will all be full. Many councils say cutting bin collections actually increases the amount we all recycle. And if we don't change our ways soon, landfill fees coupled with new EU fines could cost the UK up to £3 billion a year. And it's the taxpayer who'd pick up the bill. Angela Corp, Sky News.
Well, you can have your say on this issue on the Sky News Active Vote. We're asking, are you satisfied with your council's rubbish collection? Press red on your digital remote control to take part. Well, 35% of you are dissatisfied with your council's rubbish collection, but 65% of you are 35% of you are happy with it, 65% of you are not. Do let us know what you think. Press red on your digital remote control. Now, it wasn't a white Christmas, but it looks like being a white Easter in some parts of the UK. Let's take a look at these pictures in from West Yorkshire.